Pew, 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 pew. Hello everyone, what's up, and welcome to another newer series called Steyr AUG. So the first episode we talked about a very standard gun. It's in a lot of people's homes. It's the Glock 19, and a lot of people talk about that gun, but it is a good gun, so that's why I started off with it. We're gonna go to something quite different today, but from the same country as the Glock originates from, which is Austria. So today we are talking about the Steyr AUG. Right off the bat, bad ace weapon right here. Bad ace weapon. So let's get right into it. So this is the Steyr AUG. It is unloaded. So right here, it's unloaded. A little bit about the Steyr AUG. This was actually developed back in 1977. It was used by the Austrian military. The Irish military picked it up. I believe the Australian military also picked this up. And even though this gun is, 40 going on 50 years old now, this is still used by some militaries around the world, and it is still considered one of the best bullpup style rifles around. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is a bullpup rifle? So a bullpup rifle is actually a rifle where the bolt carrier back here is actually located behind the trigger. All right, so there's some good that comes with that, and then there's some that comes with that. The good thing is that because you're moving everything back, including the barrel, you can actually have a full size, a full length barrel, 16 inches or more, in a package that is much smaller than a 16-inch rifle that might come, maybe in an AK platform or an AR platform. So I actually do have an AR here, and I'm going to try to. I'm gonna have to back up here. I'm gonna try to show you. So they're both just on my legs here, so you can see that the AR is much longer by, I'd probably say, at least 3 inches longer than the bullpup. But these are both the same length barrel. Now, this buttstock is completely collapsed. If I were to extend this buttstock fully out, now you're talking like 6-7 inches longer, when it comes to the AR-15. So, it's definitely nice. It's very innovative that they're able to, we're going to talk about this one at another time. This is a beauty right here. So it is nice because, again, you do have a very short package, but this has the same capabilities as that rifle does when it comes to, reaching out to certain distances. Another good thing here is that you can see it's pretty evenly balanced, all right? A lot of the weight is actually back here, which is good, right? Because I can easily hold this with one hand and I'm not having that end dip down. So, I can come up here, I can easily do a reload, and while keeping my my barrel on target, right? And I can get another mag in here. I can't even see it. Another mag in here. A lot of times with AR-15s is that because a lot of the weight is up front, especially if you have lights or lasers or things like that, you actually have to bring your gun up here and kind of dig it into your side in order to get that reload. Where this, I can keep this on target, get that magazine out, get a new mag in, and I'm right back on target. So that's another good thing too, is that a lot of the weight is back here and it's a much easier to hold, right? If I were to get hurt, and whether my right arm or left arm were to get hurt or shot, I can easily switch and, to my non-injured arm, and I can still hold this gun without any issues. So that's another good thing. Now, the that comes with a bullpup is typically the triggers are mushy. And what do I mean by mushy? Well, they don't really have, they're not really crisp, right? They have kind of a long take up, and then there's not a clean wall, and then it just kind of breaks. And then the reset is usually pretty long as well. And that's just because of the way it's built, right? That's because the trigger has to go a long way because the action is actually behind it. The trigger has to act in a slightly different way and has to travel a lot further than compared to an AR-15. So that's the one downside of bullpups. What I did though is I did go to a company called Ratworks, and they have a trigger sear that I took the old trigger sear out and I put the new trigger sear in, and that lightened up the pull significantly. So here you're not really going to be able to get a good look, but it lightened up the trigger pull, the travel by about 50%. It's still a little mushy, but the travel is much less. Has a great crisp wall there. And then again, you can't really see it, but it has a super short reset. I don't even know if you heard that. Let me do it again. Trigger's down. It's got like a 1 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeter reset. So what I would recommend is that if you do get a Steyr or something like that, I would get the trigger sear from Ratworks because it makes it 100 times better. Another thing that I did change out, this is from Gearhead Works. As you can see, I have my sling all tied up here, but you can see that I actually have it connected here. Now before, this was just a connection bar, right? This was just a bar that held some pieces in place, and there was not a spot for a sling attachment, a sling swivel. The sling swivel was actually up here. The attachment was up here, which, in my opinion, with how much technology and thought went into this gun, this is one of the worst areas for it because, as you can see, this interferes with your charging handle, right? So if I've got this on, a lot of times it's going to get caught in the charging handle, which is never good. So I actually went to a company called Gearhead Works, and they actually make this bar, and it's actually made out of titanium. The first one, I think the standard is actually made out of some sort of high density polymer. So this one's actually aluminum, which is a better material, and it acts the same way. It's still that retention pin, but they have this hollowed out for an area for a sling, which is way, way better, in my opinion. Okay, what else? Let's get into some things that I don't love about it. I already changed out some things, but some things that I don't love. So the charging handle is great, right? It sticks out. It can fold into, it's on a spring, so it does automatically push out, which again can get caught on stuff. I haven't had any issues with that, but it's right there for you to grab and it's easy, right? Now the problem I do have though is the way that it's built is that if I do want to rack the slide, right, and I want to keep the charging handle back, because of the way it's built, I have to get really close to the rail here. And if you're running an optic, it can get in the way. Now we'll get to the optics I have in here in just a minute, but this optic I'm able to have a little bit further back, but if you have an optic up front, it can actually get in the way. So when you do this and you want to seat it, you actually have to get kind of almost over the Picatinny rail or flush with it. Now you can see it's flush, but it is kind of hard to get in that. You do have to kind of practice with that. So that's one thing that I don't love about this. The other thing that I don't love is the safety. So this is just a push bar safety. When it's pushed out to the right, you've got this white circle, that's safe. And when you push it out to the left, it has a red circle for fire. So it's easy, right? Not as easy as I would say maybe a AR-15, but it's not bad. I mean, I don't, with my trigger finger, I can simply push that in and I'm right on the trigger. And then I can get to it with my thumb on the other side. So it's actually not terrible. The one problem I do have with though is that this is polymer, and it's just a square. It's just basically a square bar. And when I'm running it on safety, you know, I want to keep my trigger finger off, you know, off the trigger. But this thing is the edges are so sharp that it digs the heck out of my finger. And I don't like that. And there's really nothing you can do about it. I haven't come across a different safety. Maybe there's some out there, but I have not found a safety. So I don't love that. Okay. A couple things that I do like though. So as you can see this up here, this is actually a vertical grip that comes with the gun, right? It's actually attached to the barrel, which is very nice. If I want it, I can keep it right here. If not, I can pull it down and then push it up and it's out of my way. Okay. And pull it forward and then back down. So that's actually nice. This is really ergonomic. It feels really good in my hands. If you have bigger hands, there might be some overlap, but for me, this is perfect. There's actually a little lip on the bottom that kind of keeps your hands up and tight, which is very nice. I like that. The other cool thing is, I don't know how practical it is. It would probably be more practical and efficient from an armorer standpoint, but you can actually see, it's actually kind of hard to get this up. All right, so there's a little nub in here where you would press down, rotate, and then the whole barrel can come out, which is nice. And here's the barrel. You don't need any tools, right? With an AR-15 or an AK-47, to get the barrel out and to work on the barrel, you'd actually have to have tools and take the gun apart. This, you depress a button and twist and it comes out. So in the field, it's not really practical, right? Unless something happened to your barrel and you had a guy next to you go down, one of your squad members go down, and you were to either take his gun or take the barrel out of his gun. That would really be the only practical thing that you would use this for. But for an armorer, if you do need to, if your guys are bringing you their guns and you do need to work on their barrel or swap them out, it's super easy. You don't need any tools. And then you just grab another barrel. Doesn't matter. Could be longer, could be shorter. Put it in, twist it, and boom, you're good to go. So I thought that is awesome. Again, I'll never really need to swap out a barrel, but it is cool. I can get at this barrel and work on it if I need to, which is actually pretty cool. Okay, so a couple other things here. I am running a Spiritus system, a Faro Concepts Slingster. This is their sling. I really like it. I've got this on almost every model I have. The padding is good. It's thinner padding, but I don't need a lot of padding, but it's enough to offer some support. And then they have this pull tab here, which is very easy. You can easily adjust the tension. You can either tighten it up, or I can give myself a lot of slack just by pulling on this little tab here. So it's very nice. Like I said, I have them on a lot of different guns. It comes in a lot of different colors, which I like. And yeah, so I think this is a very good sling. It's about 50, 60 bucks, which is a little bit pricier compared to other slings, but it is a good sling. Up front here, I have a Streamlight flashlight. So I would say Surefire is probably the gold standard of flashlights, but Streamlight is very affordable. The average Streamlight is probably going to cost $100, $200, maybe even $300 less than some Surefires. And one thing that I do like about Streamlight is that they give you a lot of mounting options. So I don't know if you can see here, but this actually comes with some high density rubber mounts that I can actually put this pressure pad in. It also comes with double-sided sticky tape, and it also comes with zip ties. So you have 3 different mounting options that come with the flashlight. That's typically about $150 to $200 less than a Surefire. The problem I have with Surefire is that they don't, for how much it costs, they don't really give you much. Most Surefire flashlights don't come with a pressure pad, and the ones that do come with a pressure pad, they don't really give you any mounting options. So that's one thing I don't like. So this is very bright. This is 1,000 lumen. If you press it once, and hold it down. This is momentary. If you press it twice really quick, you're going to get into that strobe. And then there's a button up front where if I actually just press it down, it's constant on. And if I double press it, it will hold on to a strobe as well. So that's cool. What I'm running here is a EOTech holographic with a EOTech G33 3x magnifier behind it. I really like these a lot. They're very durable. They're very rugged. The only problem I would say is, well, two problems. One, they're heavy. I would say this combo here weighs about 1.5 pounds, maybe closer to 2 pounds. So it is heavy. Now, thankfully, this is a bullpup and I have it centered, so the balance doesn't really change that much. I did have this on an AR-15 and it just felt very unbalanced. So I think this is a good fit for this gun. That's why I have it here. Another problem I have with the EOTech is the battery life isn't great. When you compare this to Trijicon red dots or Aimpoint red dots or Holosun red dots, this is far inferior. A lot of those red dots will give you 20, 30, 40, 50,000 hour battery life. The runtime on this is, depending on the setting, 500 hours to 1,000 hours, which is not great. It's not great. It takes one CR23 battery, which is up here. But yeah, it kind of burns through that pretty quick. It does have a decent amount of brightness settings, though. I believe it has 10 daylight settings and then 2 night vision settings. So if you are running night vision, this is a great optic to have. It's very easy to use, and it does have those night vision settings. The G33 back here, it has a pretty forgiving eye box. You know, I could actually be a couple inches away and still see through the tube of this, and it is very nice and intuitive. If I'm working up close, I can just use the holographic, and then, you know, if I'm hitting something out 200, 300, 400 yards, I flick this on, and then I can easily switch between essentially a 1x and a 3x. This also is ambidextrous. I have it flicking off to the right because I want this open, but if you are left-handed, you can switch this so that it does switch off to the left. The other cool thing for both of these also is that they are both quick detach. So this has a little lever here and this one has a lever right there, and you can easily take these off and put them back on. What I've noticed is that they actually hold their zero pretty well, which is good. I've taken them off, you know, to change out batteries or just to switch them off other guns, and they work really well. So I really like that as well. So I don't have a problem with this. This has served me well. These have probably seen, I'd probably say 7,000 rounds or so. Not all on this gun. Again, like I said, they've been switched from gun to gun, but these have probably seen about 7,000 rounds, and they're doing just fine. So yeah, I don't have a problem with the EOTech at all. Okay, I think that basically covers today. This is again the Steyr AUG or the Steyr AUG, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it, and I'll see you on the next one.